Rising. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show on the Straight Talk Network, and I'm your host, Andre Hill. We have our co-host, Chairman Terrence Lake of the United Aboriginal American Republic, the only organization in the Americas that's going to fix this problem that we're having right now. How you doing this morning, Chairman?
Grand Rising, everyone. I'm great. I can't say it's a beautiful day here because it's an overcast. Looks like we're going to get some rain, but at least the temperature is up there where it's comfortable. Yes.
So the temperature is what, in the 70s?
Yes, lower 70s right now.
So that's cold weather down for folks down here in Florida. Boy.
Right, but it's perfect for us.
They pull out the sweaters. All right. Also, we have our co-host, engineer, and Juris Doctor of the United Aboriginal American Republic. If you have land and you're tired of paying taxes, first and foremost, you need to get with our Land Recovery Committee and get Andre Hill Jr. to work on getting your land exempt from incursions, eminent domain, and paying taxes to a culture that came here thousands of years after us and then just claimed our land. So we're not playing with that anymore. If you're a mature elder and you want to make leave some real foundation for your children, join our Land Recovery Committee. Hey, Andre Hill Jr., how you doing today, man?
Good. I'm good. I'm actually enjoying this overcast we've got. Cooling it off a little bit down here.
All right, so everybody knows the routine. On Fridays, I always post on Facebook what we're going to talk about, and as listed, Straight Talk Morning Show live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch on YouTube, and we have the link for that, and also on my Facebook page, Andre Hill Sr. This episode, Generational Truth, Hidden Agendas, and Our Future. Baby boomers versus younger generation. Why my generation should stop labeling youth as lazy. We'll uncover the truth behind shifting values and survival in today's world. And I ran across some things that I thought I understood immediately what they're saying about the generations after the baby boomers. That's X, Y, Z, and all the rest of them. So we're gonna expand on that and why these children are the way they are. Also, Zuckerberg's secret island. Did you know Zuckerberg has built a self-sustainable island free of toxins and contaminants? But what does his elite club have planned for us, the rest of us? All right, so we're going to talk about that because it's going to expose a diabolical plan of these little 5%, 2% demons that don't have our best interests at hand. Also, creating our own time system. Andre Jr. will break down why American Aboriginals must build our own calendar system to escape the demonic matrix of time and restore harmony with Earth's natural rhythm. Also, a message from advanced civilization. The chairman will share insights on signals and guidance sent to humans of Earth from beyond. What are we missing and why? The truth is, this is Truth Radio without fibers. So we're going to go right into that video with the chairman was studying. And this is going to be an interesting video, to a lot of you church-going people, they're still caught up on King James and his script. I posted something what Dick Gregory said about King James. If you go to my Facebook page, you can find that particular script. And I kind of believe it wholeheartedly. I know it. But yeah, we're going to play this video about what's happening in the total solar system, in the universe, as a matter of fact.
When it came time to take things to the next level, I knew that I had to make a website, and Wix
One section
decades of a long journey, but now the Voyager 2 spacecraft has finally bid farewell to our solar system.
in the vast, unrelenting void of space, silence is expected. It's natural. But when Voyager 2, one of the most iconic space probes ever launched, went dark for a period last year, scientists assumed it was just a temporary glitch in the 46-year-old spacecraft's ancient systems. After all, Voyager 2 had been defying expectations since 1977. What's a few weeks of silence? But what if it wasn't silence? What if Voyager 2 was trying to send us something so strange, so outside the realm of known science, that we simply couldn't interpret it at first? August 2025. At NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, engineers working the Deep Space Network notice a flicker, an unusual data pattern in the supposedly inactive Voyager 2 transmission line. The signal was weak, almost camouflaged in cosmic background radiation. At first, it was dismissed. But one junior astrophysicist, Dr. Alina Mayer, insisted on running it through a spectral rebalancer. What she found made her freeze. The signal wasn't just random noise. It had structure, rhythmic patterns, non-random intervals, encoded binary sequences, exactly the kind of signature we'd expect from a deliberate communication. Dr. Mayer's findings immediately escalated the signal to NASA's high-priority anomaly team. Within 48 hours, the signal had been decrypted, not fully, but enough to realize this wasn't just the probe broadcasting its usual status reports.
Wait, is this you when trying to build a website? Because I got you. Oh?
In the data, included a segment that Voyager 2 was never programmed to send. Among familiar telemetry lines like radiation counts and cosmic ray data, there were new clusters of values, unknown markers. The energy signatures didn't align with anything Voyager 2 was capable of measuring, and one line repeated itself again and again in the code, as if trying to be noticed. -XTS998 TRN void. A code that doesn't appear in any Voyager documentation. NASA remained silent. No press releases, no announcements, just internal chatter and mounting concern. Why? Because what followed next was even more shocking. The signal abruptly stopped, as though Voyager 2 had been forcibly silenced, almost as if something else had taken control. When Voyager 2's signal returned 2 weeks later, the space science community expected it to be a routine correction. Perhaps the spacecraft auto-adjusted itself or realigned with Earth. But what came through wasn't routine. It was history-shattering. Multiple decoding labs, including an independent European research facility in Austria, confirmed that the latest data packet contained compressed image files. How? Voyager 2 isn't supposed to send images anymore. It's millions of kilometers beyond the solar system. Its camera systems were deactivated decades ago. But these were images, somehow. The files were grainy, distorted, and corrupted, but partially reconstructible. Using AI-assisted enhancement, the teams managed to produce 3 decipherable stills. The first image showed what appeared to be an irregular structure, something massive floating just beyond the heliopause, the outermost boundary of the solar system. It wasn't a natural formation. Its angles were geometric, its lines precise. The second image? Even more disturbing. It showed Voyager 2 itself, captured from an external perspective, as though someone or something had photographed it. But Voyager 2 has no other spacecraft nearby. So who, or what, took the photo? And the third image was perhaps the most chilling of all. It depicted a glowing arc-shaped anomaly, pulsing with light, a shape not previously recorded anywhere in astronomical archives. Around it were distortions that hinted at gravitational warping, like a lens bending light unnaturally. Some suggested it might be a ripple in space-time. Others whispered the words no one dared say out loud. Portal. NASA convened a closed-door session. Attendees included not just space scientists, but military advisors, intelligence agencies, and representatives from international observatories. Theories exploded. Some believed the probe had encountered a naturally occurring wormhole. Others thought it might be evidence of a non-human intelligence monitoring the edge of our solar system. But here's where things went from mysterious to terrifying. Dr. Elena Meyer ran a frequency analysis of the transmission. Embedded deep within the binary code, layered like an encryption, was a repeating pulse, 5 tones, spaced precisely. Almost identical to the Arecibo message humanity sent into deep space in 1974, a message intended to announce our presence to intelligent civilizations. Only this time, the signal wasn't going out. It was coming in. And it wasn't us who sent it. The moment the Arecibo-style pulse was confirmed to be an incoming signal, not an echo or bounce back, NASA's stance shifted from cautious interest to high alert. They now believed that Voyager 2 had not just stumbled upon an anomaly, it had made contact. Teams scrambled to analyze the full transmission. A portion of it, when interpreted through linguistics-based machine models, resembled symbolic language patterns, not human, but clearly deliberate. One section translated roughly to boundary crossed, contact achieved, return not permitted. The statement sent shockwaves through the global scientific community. Return not permitted? Was it a warning? A rule? Or something far more sinister, like the probe had passed into a region of space governed by an intelligence that had its own set of laws? NASA refused to go public, but leaks were inevitable.
This game, you're not ready.
A whistleblower released a redacted image from the data. An eerie depiction of what looked like a lattice-like structure stretching across space, like a web or net. A barrier, perhaps? Or a construct? And then came the biggest shock of all. 2 of Earth's ground-based telescopes, Chilean Atacama Observatory and Japan's Subaru telescope, reported brief optical disturbances near the outer edge of the solar system. A flicker. A ripple. Something blinked. And Voyager 2? Gone. Not destroyed, not shut off, but moved. Its signal is still active, but its coordinates place it millions of kilometers from where it should be, as if it had been relocated. By who? And for what purpose? Here's what we know now. Voyager 2 sent back a signal that was likely not of human origin. The probe may have encountered a structure or intelligence at the boundary of our solar system. It transmitted images and messages far beyond its designed capability. And finally, it appears to have been taken or redirected by forces unknown. The final encrypted message received from Voyager 2 came just before its relocation. Transmission complete. Awaiting response. Do not follow. This single line has haunted every scientist who's read it. Do not follow? Are we being warned to stay away from the edge of our solar system? Is something or someone watching us from the void? And if so, how long have they been waiting? The Voyager program was always about curiosity, exploration, and pushing the boundaries of what we knew. But with this new development, it's clear those boundaries have pushed back. Something is out there. Something that noticed Voyager 2. Something that noticed us. And now, after 46 years of silence, it has spoken. The world may never be the same again.
Hey, Chairman. So what are your
It takes
thoughts?
90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC cool down your room. It's smaller than...
Go ahead.
So what are your thoughts about this phenomenon, Chairman?
Okay, I was on mute. I wasn't surprised because I've thought this way, you know, even in my book 50 years ago, I talked about how we were put on planet Earth from other solar systems. So that shows you extraterrestrials are real, because for someone to put you somewhere, you had to came from someplace to here. So, like I say, I'm not shocked, but I was elated to hear it just come out, because a lot of these things they talk behind closed doors and don't allow you to think on that level. But it shows you that, you know, they're exposing a lot of things that they know is going to get our attention sooner or later. If the United States don't do it, China's going to do it. I think China's a little further in their exploration in space than what we are, because of their openness with their people. You know, we try to control everything that we do and stop giving the average person that opportunity to have some input, especially if he's got something that's logical and reasonable, you know. So, yeah, bring it on. You know, I'm looking forward to it. And there's another probe that's in our solar system right now. It's called 3I Astro, okay? And they've detected it, and it's moving so fast. It's like 40, what?
Now, why American?
The movement is so fast, 40 seconds, you know, hold on, trying to bring it, 40 something seconds per hour. This is how fast this object is moving. And it's going to be coming in our, well, it's in our solar system, but it's going to come closer to Mars, Venus, and then Jupiter on its way out. And we've got probes on Mars that will be able to see it when we won't be able to see it. So we've turned those cameras in that direction. So something that we need to see to determine that this is not an a comet, because some people are saying that it's a comet, but it doesn't have any signature showing that it's a comet, because it's increasing its speed, it's changing its trajectory. There's a lot of things that we're learning about this that, you know, it's just gonna make us smarter and hopefully hope our space program more advanced, you know.
Hey, I definitely agree with that. Hey, Junior, what do you think about this issue?
You know, I was wondering when they moved the Voyager 2 to another location. I was wondering who moved it. In other words, you know, we have a lot of at minimum claims of extraterrestrial intervention and interaction here on Earth. And I wonder if, you know, some of the ETs that have interest in this planet say, oh, shoot, you know what? We need to go grab that Voyager and move it somewhere else, because, in other words, you know, one of the children's toy trucks that went out into the middle of the street. Let me go grab that real quick and move it. I don't know. I'm thinking a little bit deep on it. But you know, I at minimum, I think this though. The messages that were sent back, you know, stating, hey, listen, this is the boundary for y'all. Don't send no more probes out here with your limited wisdom and intelligence on the proper frequencies that govern this entire universe, right? Because it sounds like it's this simple. you sent this probe out here with the possible intention of scouting other places in the universe to be, but the base of your intention is colonization. We don't play that right here. We don't play that colonization stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna call your parents and tell them come get your toys. All right, that's what it looked like to me. And so, you know, as I don't, you know, I would like to see what's going to happen with, you know, the follow up as to where the Voyager 2 is now and what signals is it receiving, or what direction it's heading in. But it's just evident that, you know, technology doesn't necessarily mean intelligence or wisdom, spiritual wisdom. All right. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later on in the show when we talk about building our own time frequencies that we need to adapt to. So I'll land the plane right there.
So, you know, as I think about it, the warning basically saying you don't need to go any further, stay in your lane.
Yes.
You know, we are a developing species. The melanated humans on this planet, it took millions of years to develop us, but the culture that was jump-started only 6,600 years ago, they are really feeling their oats in terms of their awakening. But what they don't understand is that they were created by a low frequency entity. We've talked about it over and over again. And that low frequency entity is known as Dark Vader, Lucifer, the devil, whatever negative energy you want to call it. And so they don't quite understand the repercussions of their actions right now. They are just doing things, enslaving people, destroying their environment, coming up with enslaving, making us work and taking the resources from the time that we put in to develop vehicles to go out into space and contaminate space with their ignorance. And it's not going to be allowed. A lot of you, you know, are working 40 hours a week contributing to this madness. And, you know, this is why we're doing this show. We're offering an alternative. And that alternative is to take back your position on this planet, you know, and create a self-sustainable culture like Zuckerberg, who I'm going to talk about. You know, we're going to segue into that. There's no need in going out into space. There's no need in spending trillions of dollars to go and explore when you have not fixed this planet yet. You're still trying to colonize, enslave, murder. Trust me, you murdering bastards over there in Gaza, you have no idea of the consequences of your seed, you and your seed for millions for the next million years of just murdering and starving these babies, you know, over. If you're capable of doing that, no intelligent life in the universe is going to allow you to come and contaminate anything outside the atmosphere of this planet. As a matter of fact, hopefully some of you spiritual folks and some of you more advanced, high frequency individuals, you know, that the time for this ignorance is up. It's a season. It has ended, and it's not going to be extended. And so what a lot of these little demons are doing, they're running off, building their islands and building healthy communities for them, but still continuing to contaminate our communities, still being part of an agenda to enslave us. And so when you go on these jobs, these corporate American jobs, you're basically working to support and underpin Lucifer, demonic or low frequency entities. And we are encouraging you, you have an option. Stop being fearful. Well, I don't lose my pension, I'll lose my good government job. All that stuff is going away. These entities are coming into the solar system to enforce the removal and the end of that season. So you need to man up and start preparing for this paradigm shift. If you don't, you will die along with your demented, mentally deranged slave master. You will die along with them. You know, so you have an option of reversing this. You can get with our organization or any other organization that's putting the truth out there. Get with them and be a part of the paradigm shift. The paradigm shift is simply saying, we're going to talk about your children, why your children ain't going along with this. You know, it's simply saying you can reconstruct a balanced society, one that's based on truth and balance and respect for the universal laws. Treat people the way you want to be treated, love your fellow humans unconditionally, and respect the fact, without degrees, PhDs, and all that crap, every human has a particular talent or skill to offer to the balance of humanity. And so you don't disrespect them or pay them less or belittle them because they don't have foolishness, degrees, and PhDs that is designed for you to remember a bunch of crap that was, well, syllables, but was written by these 2% mentally deranged demons that's capable of murdering babies and starving babies for a real estate deal. That's something to think about. Hey, let's segue on into the next one. Let's talk about what Martin's with Zuckerberg. Now, I can't prove this yet. I have not seen the island, but it's, you know, but I gave people this warning a long time ago that these demons, they're going to cause all this chaos, and then they're going to run off and go get them an island and create their little kingdom and wait on you to die. And this is a demonstration, a verification of what I've been
Mark's Instagram, and he is constantly skills. Take one scroll on Mark's Instagram and he is constantly posting from his isolated island ranch in the middle of the ocean, hunting, fishing, raising cattle, and learning how to defend himself. It's almost like he is preparing for a catastrophic event. He spent $187 million on 1,600 acres of land on the island of Kauai. This island is also not dependent on tourism, which means that it is currently self-sustaining and survivable. But even if it's not, he is building a 5,000 square foot underground bunker complete with its own energy and food supplies. He even shared a video to his Instagram of a massive movie theater built underground, so at least he won't be bored.
You do have a bunker there. Is there something you know that we don't?
No, I think that's just like a little shelter under, it's like a basement.
A little shelter. What are you worried about?
A billionaire who can artificially control the information of 3 billion people is not your friend. Mark likely doesn't want to connect with others in the metaverse, but he does want you and your kids there. And the money that you make for him will be used to keep himself isolated on one of the most beautiful, resource-abundant wonders of the world. He will spend the rest of his days having deep conversations with friends, singing songs to his children around a campfire, cooking feasts for his pack using antibiotic-free cattle that they raised, and fresh produce with 0 chemicals and preservatives. He will hunt, fish, fight, and learn how to build things with his hands. He will breathe fresh air, drink fresh water, and enjoy all the precious God-given resources in an
Okay, so this is what, so you're gonna create an environment. I'm paranoid about eating the food from the various grocery stores because this GMO is not really providing me with the healthy, sustainable vitamins and minerals that I need for my body. But you're gonna be part of an agenda that's gonna create unhealthy lifestyle for the rest of the humans on the planet, and you're going to support it, and clean water, clean air. You're not going to allow combustible engines to contaminate with its exhaust fumes the ecosystem, and you're going to go separate on your little island after you damaged us. Let me say something to you, man. You have nowhere you can hide on this planet. And I promise you, these entities of the Most High you're gonna have to pay your dues. You're gonna have to pay your tax for the demonic things that you've done. So, you know, for those that are thinking that you're gonna run off and hide and there's no consequence, I know your penal code is only 6,000 years ago. You are just a twinkle in time, and you don't really understand the consequences of your action. But listen, and it ain't me, it's the guardians of the Most High. They will be coming to tax your ass. But to all the other humans on this planet, we have one very simple solution. All of the divisive measures that have been implemented to have us fighting against each other, hating on each other, starving each other, you know, for our own selfish gratitude. This is a very simple fix. We got to stop doing it, you know. And anybody that's encouraging us to hate on each other, they're a demon. And they're planning on doing exactly what this Zuckerberg character is doing, going to an island somewhere and waiting and leaving the system in place for us to kill each other. All the little people over in Gaza, they're hating on the US right now because we are the ones, our tax money, our slave labor is funding those bombs and bullets to kill those children through that mentally deranged leader over there in Israel. He is a sick demon. And so we are funding that. We're complicit with it. You know, so we have choices. Chairman, what do you think about Zuckerberg's island?
Well, like you say, he's building it to escape. They know some things on a universal scale that we don't know. They know that there's, what is this in the Bible? Wormwood, supposed to be this comet that's or asteroid that's supposed to hit planet Earth, and if not destroy the whole planet, part of it, or kill at least 4 billion people. And he feels that he goes into the middle of the ocean in an island that he could fortify himself, that he would survive, him and his cronies, family, whatever, you know. So that's what his plan is, you know. But they don't realize that our whole purpose of creation is to create a heavenly environment. You know, we create a lot of different things, but our main purpose is creating that heavenly environment so everybody can have the opportunity to survive and contribute to this here. And the people that follow that ideal will be a part of this change for the better. It's got to happen because anything else is just pure destruction.
Hey, there it is. Hey, Junior, what do you think about Zuckerberg's island? What do you tell the people of your generation to do for Zuckerberg?
Well, first things is I think we need to realize how powerful we are, especially melanated people, as a collective generator of the reality that's on this planet. When we think about all of the social media platforms, especially in 2025, it is now the new TV. It's now the new newspaper.
Yes.
And originally, TV and newspaper had a military application, which was propaganda designed to have you think a certain way and express certain feelings and emotions about it. Thus, you begin to create this particular type of society and thus reality for yourselves. Meanwhile, they sitting back, whether it's the government or the oligarchs, whoever we want to point a finger at, and they're just puppet stringing you from your back, and then they're enjoying your energy while you're focused here. It's almost very similar to most parasitic bugs. I mean, like a mosquito. Mosquito literally waits for you to not be looking at it to try to come get you. Unless it's them country mosquitoes we got down here in Florida, they don't care. they'll land right on your shirt and bite you through your shirt. They don't care. But the average mosquito, the average bed bug, the average tick, the average whatever, his tactic is to, sneak up on you, attach to you, suck blood, and hopefully you don't notice, because if you notice, you're gonna swipe it off of you. So this has developed an incognito method of attack. That's the same way they operate, right? So Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg is just the just one of the faces of it at this point. But the strategy of controlling media for your mental consumption, so that you will in turn project and emote a particular reality. That's what it's all about. It's a lot less about the money. If you don't want Zuckerberg to be a millionaire or a billionaire no more, or any of the other ones, if you want to really mitigate their power, get out of the consumerism mind state, to where you just consuming and not producing anything for yourself, right? Because to them, your energy is the money. Let me say it one more time. To the oligarch, Zuckerberg, all of them, your energy, your attention, your observation, your feelings behind it, that's the money to them. That's the food for them. They just use the dollar bill because they know you believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's all it's about. It's like, if we crash the dollar tomorrow, they will scramble to find another instrument or tool for you to use, for you to believe in the same way you believe in money, to exchange for your basic resources and survival. So now him building a 5,000 square foot bunker, listen, he looking at it like this: I'm gonna get on the island. So, because I know a lot of y'all, because I know a lot of y'all broke. You ain't gonna have no boats to get to me.
That's right.
And if you can pull up, I'm gonna be underground anyway, and I'm gonna have some security. Right? That's what he's thinking. In other words, he's thinking like a bank robber who robbed a bank, and he wants to get out of town and negotiate them not following him. Negotiate the authorities not to follow him, and then detain him and lock him up or kill him. Sorry, unalive him. Sorry, they how they like to do. So long story short, Zuckerberg's just one of them. He's just the one about. He's popular. He's the face of being. He's one of the faces of social media. But all of those people connected to the oligarchs are building bunkers, because there's even a what's it called? There's an agenda or a saying. Let me just say that, for lack of a better word, it's a saying going around on the internet: eat the rich. Right? In other words, eat the rich, eat the billionaires. I don't know if they mean that figuratively.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? But that's paracultural. It doesn't matter. It's white people, black people, Asian people. It don't matter. It's everybody saying that about all of the rich who are forcing everyone into stressful living environments from day to day, right? And there's more to say on that, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna land the plane right there.
So once again, I'm a metaphysical scientist, and I understand that I will transition, and I will transition into a higher technological culture, and the laws of karma. I communicate this to the guardians of the Most High. Please allow me to come back in my ship, because these little demons, I will seek them out, and they will pay. They're going to have to pay, but they have the option right now to reverse what they've done. They left this system in place and then ran off to the little islands for us to kill each other, fight over each other. They done created a hamster wheel. And the hamster wheel is turned up so high, you got to work 2 and 3 jobs just to pay the rent, the car note, the insurance, That's ludicrousy. And so we don't have to do that. You know, get with us, join our nation. We have a plan, a method of reversing this. We need some elders. We need you to be a part of our land recovery committee, because there is a process how we're going to approach these demons to recover land for our children. Our children are not going to do well in this economic system that's going to require them to work 3 jobs just to live and eat, while these little demons go run off and have fun and enjoy our planet. They ain't going along with it. So we understand what our children. Hey, play that video where our children, what their state of mind, man. They're not going along with this. These new star seeds.
Okay. I know how they do. Hold tight, family. Like to give us glitches. Hold tight.
The frozen video?
Yeah, for a second.
Taken place in these young star seeds, they just tired of the BS. Check this out.
Stop calling people lazy for not wanting to be part of this raggedy ass, corrupt ass system, part of this dusty ass program. We don't want to exchange our time for fucking currency that's made here, printed here, just to give it right the fuck back. No, motherfucker, oh, you don't want to work, you lazy. Bitch, you can put me out in the wilderness right motherfucking now, and I'm gonna go out there and build my own house. You'll find me somewhere climbing trees, hunting, gardening, all type of shit. Fuck, doing backflip, cartwheels, all type of... Bitch, I'm not lazy. I don't want to be part of this shit no more. That's it, that's all. Fuck my, yeah, this new generation lazy. This new generation don't never want to work, bitch, because we know it's bullshit. We know, we see it for what the fuck it is. We're tired, nigga. Fuck. Ready for this shit to crash already. What the fuck taking so long?
Now, people will be mad at her for what she said, but the interesting part is that during the Industrial Revolution, actually rich white boys said the same thing. They said that cotton and slavery as it is right now can't sustain us. So what happened? That system imploded and they started the Industrial Revolution, which in turn basically made everybody slaves. Because now they can pay you pennies on the dollar. They can get wealthy, live off their yachts and travel the world and show you, just basically throw it up in your face what living good looks like, while you're in their factories, in their warehouses, in their mining fields working. And now they pay you pennies on the dollar so that you can pay for your own food, clothing, and shelter. But never enough to really just break the chains, but always just enough where you got to keep coming back. So that young lady basically is saying, hey, that was the age of Pisces. We're currently in the age of Aquarius, which means that there's a shift taking place, which means that we're going to call the bullshit for what it is, which means that we're going to call slavery what it is, which means that we're not going to participate in certain shit. And with this shift that's taking place and a new world coming in, guaranteed, there are going to be some things that stay, but there's going to be things that leave. It's got to be like that. And people are going to be upset only because most people don't like to come out of their comfort zone. It's too bad. Either come out of it.
Hey, Chairman, do you have any grandchildren or children that fit this description? They just ain't feeling it.
Oh, yes. I have lots of grandchildren. I got 20. I got 6 great grandchildren. Wow. They're not at age, where they can participate. But the ones that are the grandchildren in their 20s and 30s and 40s, they're feeling it. It's time for a change, a positive change, because people don't want to work 2 and 3 jobs just to survive. It's crazy. I thought when I retired that I wouldn't have to work anymore, but I find myself still working little odds and end jobs. I'm blessed to have skills, but think about those that don't have.
Hey, Junior, are you and your generation waiting on this crap to crash?
Yeah, my whole generation, yeah. you've got some of us who, still want the experience of getting a certain amount of money and living a certain lifestyle. And I'm watching them, and I'm wondering, okay, so, you know, what y'all gonna do in the, what type of human being are you gonna turn into in the event that this system does crash? Are you going to negotiate your soul in order to be in position to receive favor or position from the same entities that created the commercial system in the first place, so you can continue to kind of live that lifestyle of like, all right, I got a certain kind of car, I got a certain kind of house, I got a, so I can afford certain types of clothes, so then I can go out here and impress other humans with frivolous bullshit, right? I'm watching them, right? And my personal circle, we got our mind maze up, and let me really specify what I'm saying. My personal circle, I'm 40 years old. Most of my friends, we either doing well or we understand exactly what this system is. And, like I've said this on the show before. We're at that age to where we have some wisdom, right? Because we about, let's say on average, almost halfway through life, but we still young enough to have the level of energy to attempt to change this entire narrative and system, right? And we still got the fire on it, and so we be sitting back talking to one another. We be like, man, listen, we are completely fine and okay with the fact that everybody ain't gonna make it. Talking about people from my generation, right? Because realistically, you and Chairman, let's say in the next 40 years, y'all might not be here, right? But then I'm looking at my constituents. I'm like, there's a lot of y'all ain't gonna make it, and it's like because y'all ain't even you're not making the attempt to form a community of elders and people my age and younger and work as a team. you're not willing to do that. And that's the only way this works. So to answer your question, yeah, a lot of my generation is, especially the generation right under me, the one right under me, born in the late 90s, and especially the ones in the 2000s. They ain't finna work the ones born in the 2000s ain't working no jobs. They ain't finna be doing that. They finna figure out how to use technology to work a job for them. But as far as doing what we see, like my generation, we the last ones that were massively going into the workforce and workhouses and working hours, literally trading a lot of time, and thought it was okay, is the point. See, like this little young sister right here, I imagine she's probably in her 20s. She probably did it for about 5 years. It was like, F this. And back in 2018, I said, I ain't got time to work no more jobs like that. It's stressful. It was literally so 2018, that was almost about 7 years ago. So I was 33 at the time. I was young, 33, and it was getting to a point to where every day I was getting up and going to work. I have a headache just getting up, going to work. At 33, just overly stressed, not necessarily physically stressed, but mentally and spiritually stressed, to where it was causing physical ailments. And so, and now mind you, at 33, I've been working since I was 19 years old. So I did it for that span of time. That ain't nothing compared to some of y'all. I remember I worked in a General Motors plant, and some of the people in the union that worked, but they did that particular job for 30 years. I don't see how y'all did it. I ain't gonna lie to you. So you see how by every generation, the willingness and the capacity for us to go into the hamster wheel matrix workforce is diminishing by every generation. Y'all did it for 30 years. I did it for like 20. This little young sister probably did it for like 5, and she already burnt out. She already burnt out. And I understand. I completely understand. And so, we reached what they call it, the age of the gross to where, you know, we're at a point where we've pretty much experienced everything we possibly can within a system like this. And like you say, it's run its course. It's over with. It's over with, and it's shifting in two directions. Shifting in two directions based on what I can see, me observing the economy, the political scene, the technological scene. We're going to have a technological era to where Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, those puppet faces are pushing technologicalism. I made that word up, but you know what I mean. And transhumanism. I'm gonna keep throwing that word out there because that's what the technological route is going to turn into if you buy into that system. If you buy into that system, the other route, which is our route, is self-sustainable and healthy communities. We're gonna use some level of technology, but we're just not gonna let it run our entire world. We'll use it to make our our daily tasks easier and or assist us in our mental aptitude, but it's not going to be, we're not going to be dependent upon it. We're not going to be dependent upon it. And this is why, and that leads me into this. I'm going to get into why we're going to create new time cycles and systems for ourselves. But this is the reason why, because our bodies, the human body is our human body and connection with this planet and the planet's connection with the entirety of the universe is the best technology you can ever see. They're never going to be able to invent some technology more powerful, more efficient, more expansive than your actual current and natural design. Let me give you an example. So I'm going to read a snippet from an article from this is philhealthid.org, or .gov, I'm sorry. philhealthid.gov. Neuroscientists have found that all human brains are connected through extremely low frequency electromagnetic waves. These subtle signals, far below the range of our normal senses, made from a hidden neural network that links human consciousness across the planet. Every thought we have creates tiny electrical impulses, and together these impulses generate electromagnetic fields. Scientists suggest that these ultra-low waves can travel great distances, silently connecting minds in ways we are only beginning to understand. Some researchers even compare this to Earth's natural resonances, like the Schumann resonance that vibrate at similar frequencies that raise a fascinating possibility. Our brains may be in constant dialogue, not just with each other, but also with the rhythms of Earth itself. Right? So this is just your brain, let alone the entirety of your body. So all of us are connected through the multiple dimensions of information highways that exist literally in the air. All right. The way a radio works, sends a signal out, and a signal that's at a certain vibratory rate, and any other radio that is vibrating at that same rate can pick up the signal that one is sending. Now imagine if you ever broke open a radio, very, very basic components inside of it. It's not that complicated, right? It's got transistors, resistors, and all of that jazz. You go look up the science behind it. It ain't that complicated. But our brain, in comparison, is about 1,000 times more complicated, 1,000 times more complex, I should say. Just that more highly technological, right? And we have embedded within us gene codes that have instructions on how to create one of these. Every single one of us. That's high technology, family. that is high technology. Now, getting back to the route we need to be taking as like minds, literally across the planet, who understand that this matrix system that we all have been conditioned into and we need to get away from. The self-sustainable communities that need to happen all over the planet. Those are going to be simply for our basic resources for the most part, right? That so you living on this planet will be free once again. So your water will be free. Now, when I say you water, your food, your shelter will be free. Yeah, you're going to have to put in, some effort to sustain it. But again, as a collective, the old African proverb, many hands make light work. And it does, trust me, I'm in the construction field. Trust me, when you got a lot of people working on something, it's like this. I got some Mexican homeboys. If 20 of them get to build a house, they can build that house in like 2 weeks. And it'll be minimal work because it's 20 of them. You probably, with 20 people putting together one house, you'll probably do 10 hours worth of work maximum throughout them 2 weeks as one individual. You individually do 10 hours worth of work with 20 people building one house. So, just apply that to sustaining your water, sustaining your energy, sustaining your food, sustaining your shelter. Now, that's just your foundation. That's just your basic resources. So in other words, you will have the ability to get up every day and be like, you know what, let me check the little system. All right, the water clean. Okay, cool. We got plenty of energy. Cool. Let me check the pantry. All right, plenty of food in there. Matter of fact, we got a little bit too much food actually. We gonna have to throw some of this food away. And everybody's house is still, still structurally sound. Okay, we good. All right, 5 minutes just to do a systems check to make sure everybody's okay. Then what you gonna do when everything is okay and you realize you ain't got no bills? You're gonna wake up and get up every day and you're going to tap into your true purpose and start creating shit. That's what you're gonna do.
Yes.
That's what you're gonna do every day. You're gonna wake up and just stretch and be like, ooh, you know what? That was a real fun dream I had last night. Let me see if I can apply that to this actual reality, this tangible physical reality I just woke back up into. You have the ability to really create, which will allow your brain to synchronize where you can use your creative brain and your logical brain at the same time. And the possibilities are endless. Possibilities are endless, right? Next thing you know, we had the ability to sit down in a circle, do a particular ceremony, and travel to another universe that way. Might even have to get on no spaceship and it take millions of years to get over there, right? So the route we're taking is going to allow you to truly create the fantasy and utopia world that you truly dream of and desire. One other thing, where we at? 11:50. Okay, so now this segues me into the time systems, this time and cycle system that I'm talking about. On the video we just watched, Brother Karima, I'm familiar with him. I've been watching him for years. He's good dude. Brother Karima mentioned this, the age of Aquarius. No shade to him, but it's not quite. It's not quite the age of Aquarius, but we are on the cusp of it. This is why technological development is booming right now, because that's just Aquarian in nature. Technology and innovation is Aquarian in nature. But we are on the cusp. So just like all of you people who are born on the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces, you got a little bit of both going on, right? Now, one way we can still tell that we are still in the age of Pisces is because we still have a great deal of emotionalism, and especially in the quote unquote Black community, in the Aboriginal community, right? And everybody's feeding off of that, right? We are highly emotional. That's fine. That's okay. But we just don't know. We just haven't been taught, trained, or conditioned on how to cultivate and focus those emotions. We just respond emotionally to everything. Right off the bat, our first thing to do, you get mad, upset, cry, whatever about it. Right? Again, I ain't saying nothing's wrong with emotions, but you just have to learn how to direct them. Emotions are like water. Now, if you got water spilt on the ground and it doesn't have, it's not in a form to where it's useful, then you get my drift. So if you're not controlling your water to where or containing it in its reservoir to where it is useful to you, it is essentially not useful to you, and or somebody else siphoning your water and using it for themselves, siphoning your emotions and using it for themselves. Because again, like I said earlier, your energy, which your emotions really amplify your energy. Them parasites, that's their food. They love it. They love for you to amplify your energy through emotions, but especially those quote unquote lower vibrational emotions. That's their food. Now, one of the ways we're gonna get around this, or better yet, it ain't even about them. This is what we're gonna do when we start building our own self-sustainable communities. We're gonna have to start building our own time as well. A lot of my astrology students ask me, "Hey Dre, is time real?" And I tell them this all the time. Time is what you make it. Time is what you make it. You know, you can observe and measure time as you see fit. All right, it's a lot of mathematical formulas to do it. So let me give you an example. If we were to use a 13-month calendar, right now we have a 12-month calendar. You divide 12 into 365, you're going to get approximately 30 days apiece, 30 days for each month, right? But if you divide it 13 into 365 days, you're going to get exactly 28 days a month and 4 weeks in each, 4 7-day weeks in each one of those months. And it's also going to be relatively in alignment with lunar cycles as well. That's a large science. I'll get into that. I'll explain that on another show. But my point is, those are two totally different types of calendars. Also, you will have a 13th month. Is the point, right? Could you imagine yourself adjusting, assimilating to, and utilizing a 13-month calendar? And what you're gonna do with the 13th month? I suggest you do this like the ancient Kemis did. You know how we have a New Year's Day for one day, and we celebrate ceremoniously, right? The ancient Kemites, aka Egyptians, they had 5 days at the end of the year where they celebrated for 5 days straight. And not necessarily worshiped any deities, but they practiced their spiritual system that was very resonant with nature, calling the intercalary days, right? But the point was, so they knew they were going into a new year, aka a new cycle. So the idea of it was to ascend higher and or forward, not just loop back into another cycle and just do the same thing all over again. So imagine you got a 13th month to where y'all practice that ceremoniously for an entire month, right? And that's just one way of looking at it. One way of looking at it. I'm a cosmologist. I can create you a calendar from scratch. I don't care what your spirit, I don't care what your religion is either. No matter. I don't care. It don't make me no difference. You can pray to whatever gods you want to. Whatever you resonate with, doesn't matter. But I would just suggest, so long as it is beneficial and fourth moving, right? So now again, another reason why we would do this is because we have circadian rhythms. In other words, we've got rhythms that coincide with every day. A lot of it dealing with your health and your digestive tracts and your sleep patterns and all of that jazz, and which contributes or sustains your health. You have circummonthly rhythms to where you go through a certain cycle with your body every month. You have circannual rhythms. In other words, like say for instance, if you were raised in a particular latitude and longitude, and you are used to the weather at that geographic location, like say for instance, I'm from Tennessee. So during the wintertime, I would do two things that would happen to my body. I would start eating more and my body would thicken up a little bit more. You feel me? My body would thicken up a little bit more. When I moved down south here to Florida, it's like I'm still able to retain my, let's say cut and fitness, But I can't gain no weight to save my world, to save my life down here, because it's just not the sea, it's the climate from year to year is not the same as it is in Tennessee. We don't have a winter time down here. Not for real. We don't have a winter time. So my whole body had to adjust to not having a winter time. Right? My whole body had to adjust to the fact that, yeah, it's not going to get cold. You don't need to beef up like that. You don't need to gain any more weight. So that just using that as an example, as to, how you adjust to different cycles of this planet, different cycles of quote unquote, well, let's say, rhythms and frequencies. On a mental level, when we look at a system of time that we created, your mind begins to adjust the same way your body adjusts to different seasons, right? Especially with the intention of creating a time cycle that you're going to observe, that you're going to deliberately pay attention to, and create your own reality on that time frequency. That's important. That's the important part I'm getting at. On that time frequency, you're going to create your own new reality, because you're going to create a system of habits, or let's say a scale of habits that you're going to instill not only in yourself, everybody in community is going to be doing it, and then who else you're going to teach it to? You're going to teach it to your children, so that they have in their foundation, at a young age, what a healthy and vibratory frequency feels like. It'll be encoded in them, so to say. They don't have to go into a system and then unlearn that system like we're doing right now. That's essentially what we're doing right now. Me telling you about creating new, you got to unlearn this one and then create a new one to get back on track, to get back in a healthy rhythm. So, that's where we at with it right now. That's what we're going to have to do. That's our job. For who? For the next generations. That's what it's all about. For the next generations. All right, I'll land that plane right there. We 7 minutes over that. Anybody got any statements or questions on that?
Well, the only thing that I want to add to that is, to the people in my generation, I've dogged you out before, but I know a lot of you are sitting back with, I got mine. These children are not going to get theirs the way this system is set up. So we need you to go to our website, uaaranation.org, uaaranation.org. And we need people to join our land recovery committee. In the absence of light, darkness prevails. So if we don't bring light to the situation, that we need our land back, and we're going to approach these demons diplomatically, because they came in, erased our history, murdered our ancestors, and just claimed our land, and then even went shipped back over to England and got all the mentally deranged prisoners and to come over and confiscate our land. And they gave them, just handed it over to them, and got instant generational wealth on our land. They lied. They said we came over here from boats from Africa. Jesse Jackson bought into renaming us African Americans to take away our nationality. That was all a lie. So we're reclaiming our nationality here in the Americas. We can, to you folks in my generation, got grandchildren, great-grandchildren, like the chairman was talking about. Your children are going to despise you. When you die, they're going to be standing around at your funeral figuring out how they're going to split up whatever assets you left, like scavengers. And they're not going to respect you because you left them nothing. You didn't leave them banks. You didn't leave them their own systems to survive. You told them to go work for these little demons that came over here and confiscated your land, and go get an education and go work for them. And they've been working on murdering us all this time. So we need some of you to post up with us, join our land recovery committee, and go to UAAR. We have a telephone number on the site. Call that number and schedule a time. We will send you information and get you involved in our Zoom meetings and our annual powwows to discuss how we're going to get our land back. It's a process. So get with us and join the movement. Chairman, you got any other closing statements? I think Chairman.
Okay, I was on mute.
Yeah.
No closing statements. I think we had a very good, informative program. I know people will get a lot out of this, and it'll wake them up to reality, what's going on this planet and beyond this planet, and more to come. But you need to have that open mind to be able to receive this information that's being transposed to you. I'll land that plane.
Hey, well, that lands the plane for all of us. Go ahead and close us out, man.
Yeah, man. Good show. It's been the Straight Talk Network show, Saturday morning show, as always.